Greetings everyone! Welcome to my review of Sonic Universe issue 82, the final part of the Silver Age. Things have gone pretty bad for Silver and his friends. First, Silver and Professor Von Schlimmer were thrown into a portal as test subjects. They were able to escape and return thanks to the bits, but something followed them. The second Devourer. And it lives up to its name as it sucks up the life force of everyone. Except for our heroes, of course. Though Professor Von Schlimmer gets knocked out in the process. And thus, they retreated to Von Schlimmer's lab. In said lab, they need to wake up Von Schlimmer. Silver figures he'll shock him, but Gold uses her powers to wake him instead. Silver asks for Von Schlimmer's help, but the professor says there's nothing anyone can do. And no, I am not saying those words. Von Schlimmer does have a valid point, as the Genesis portal the second Devourer came from is much bigger than your typical one. Silver mentions that they still have him, all while closing the Genesis portal inside the tube. This inspires Von Schlimmer to go get the bigger maker machine. Yeah, we all saw this coming. Von Schlimmer explains that not only does the machine increase one's size, but amplifies one's power too. Convenient. There is one problem though. The machine needs to be recalibrated to work on a more complex being, and it'll take some time. However, Gold has an idea. We later see them on the roof of a building. What Gold's going to do is link everyone's mind and use the combined brain power to recalibrate the bigger maker machine on the fly. Sure. Well, it works as Von Schlimmer tells Silver to jump through on his mark. It looks like it didn't work. Actually, there was a delay, and Silver starts growing. The now giant Silver attracts the attention of the second Devourer, and so this kaiju-esque fight begins. Insert whatever theme you like. Godzilla, Gamera, Attack on Titan, Big in Japan by Alphaville. It's up to you. I do like that Silver decides to take the fight away from the city and the people statues before counterattacking. As Silver points out, the second Devourer is still bigger. But still, the Psychic Hedgehog uses debris against this while saying a lesser-known quote.
How about this?
Silver hopes to lure the creature back into the giant portal before closing it. The creature has other plans as it grabs Silver and forces him to the ground using its purple hand tentacles. Well, now we know their origin. Oh no, Silver, no, don't say that line. Thankfully, Gold chimes in, along with Von Schlimmer and the Bits. They tell him to not give up, we believe in you, etc, etc. It works as Silver powers up, then pulls the old dirt in the eye trick, and tosses the thing by its hair into the portal, all while quoting Kirk at the end of the fight from Star Trek 3. Silver starts closing the portal, and wouldn't you know it, this happens to be the time Silver starts shrinking. Still, he uses everything he has left to close the portal before the second Devourer can return. Naturally, this leaves Silver exhausted, and he crashes right into the bigger maker machine. Oops. But Von Schlimmer doesn't care. He, Gold, and the Bits are happy that Silver won. And after all that, Von Schlimmer never asked Silver his name. Really? You'd think between the first lab visit and sneaking around the council headquarters, Silver would reveal his name to Von Schlimmer. Anyway, they worry about the council returning and more Genesis portals. Wait a minute, back up. They're worrying about the council? Last time we saw them, they became as statues. How would they know they've been revived? We never saw them or any affected citizen return to normal. The Genesis portals I understand because one of them just popped open underneath them. And thus this issue and this arc ends with our heroes heading through the portal to who knows where or when. Let's tackle the ending first. I can see this in two ways. One, I'm a little disappointed that it ended on essentially a cliffhanger. Usually with many Sonic Universe arcs, there's somewhat of a conclusion, while leaving things open for a possible sequel or a continuation in the other Sonic book. Here, well, it's bold, I'll give it that. I would thought that with the Genesis portal problem persisting, Silver would then begin traveling through them and sealing them. Which leads to the second way I see this ending. It reminds me a bit of Sliders. If you're not familiar with that show, It's basically about a group of people traveling from parallel Earth to parallel Earth, trying to find their home, and they would get caught up in problems related to the Earth of the week. Come to think of it, I wouldn't mind a series of stories featuring Silver and his posse going to different worlds and helping with or getting away from problems. Silver and Gold have different sets of powers to work with. Von Schlimmer could work with the sciencey stuff, and the Bits, comic relief. Also, we know Silver's going to be fine. 1. He's a Sega Sonic character. And 2, as mentioned in part 1 of this arc, this takes place before the events of Free Comic Book Day 2015, or rather Sonic Origins number 6. Let's talk about Gold and her powers for a sec, so she can share minds for a brain power boost. It's very silly, I admit, and a convenient way to have Von Schlimmer recalibrate the Bigger Maker machine quickly. The fight itself. Admittedly, it was quick, but it's understandable since you want to get rid of a dangerous monster fast. I do like how Silver cares about the people to try and get out of the city, but at the same time, he's not above fighting dirty. Again, he's dealing with a life-sucking monster that needs to go away quickly. In the aftermath of the fight, they say the council will return. Like I said earlier, last time we saw them, they were turned into statues. I would believe this more if we saw a panel or two of the second Devourer's victims returning to normal. Maybe that shockwave that appeared when Silver closed the portal was supposed to be a world-healing wave, and we never did find out where the second Devourer came from, or if it's somehow related to the Time Eater. Anyway, if I were to guess, the panel where Silver's friends were doing their whole "you can do it" thing, they were getting their lives sucked away. It's kinda hard to tell with this art here. And them appearing at the end means the monster's effects wore off. Seriously, that's a big problem I have with this issue. Von Schlimmer and the Bits, I still like them. Gold, well, the only feelings I got from her are worry and hope. Given the circumstances, it's understandable. But hopefully she can move past it if and when we see her again and we give her some more development. I've been going back and forth about what score to give this issue, so I'll give it a 7. It barely made this number because the ending was a giant question mark, plus there's that whole "the council's returning" line. But I did like the final fight, and the art's great. Overall, Evan Stanley did a decent job for a first writing job in an official Sonic book. But there's always room for improvement, such as, say, filling in some plot points that people might not understand. That kind of thing. Anyway, coming soon, we'll head back into the main Sonic book to see how the Werehog deals with Egg Forces, and if the Freedom Fighters will get the final Emerald at last. But next time in Sonic Universe, we begin a new arc starring the one and only... before coming to Silver's world, did Gold use her brain power trick to cheat on tests?